I remember we had a conversation in the early 90s. I can't tell you when because I don't remember, where you said something to the effect that the real estate industry at that time, let's just say 30 years ago, had some of the greatest transactionalists you'd ever encountered, but almost no strategist. Am I
Yeah,
characterizing correctly your comment? First of
yes,
all,
yes.
how do we
And
stand 30 years later in that regard? What, if you did, that was baseline 30 years later, what's your grade card on that?
well, I think the grade card has changed a lot. It's changed a lot because the nature of real estate. I mean, when I started out, there were 500 guys just like me. And when I was committed to something, I was committing my personal net worth to it. And and today, I'm probably one of the few real estate guys around who's still using his own money. It's a very different set of circumstances. So, and maybe that's why that statement at that time was correct. That since the definition of can we get it done also includes a lot of ego. Uh, when the guy's making the decision and saying I'm going to go forward, and I'm going to build this, I'm going to develop this, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to make this, I can get it done. Uh, Number one, today, instead of his own money, it's institutional money. And almost by definition, uh, using institutional money, you're building uh, a whole bunch of checks and balances uh, go into making the decision. So it's much more ponderous. You got to get more people involved.
Yeah.
And the idea being that the more people looking at it, the less likely you're going to make some quote unquote mistake.
Yep.
But I think the industry's changed very dramatically. Uh, it's nowhere near as uh, uh, boom and bust as it was. It's nowhere near as much focused on uh, building as it is focused on managing capital and managing assets. I mean, I tell people things, but in 1990, 1989, when I started Zell, which was the first real estate opportunity fund, institutional, 80% of people I called on did not have real estate as an asset class.
Yeah. Yeah.
80%. There was literally a few people who understood, and everybody else said, well, there's either stocks or there's bonds, you know, and real estate doesn't fit into either one of those things, so we don't have any real estate. And then we might have to run it, manage it, and that was not 1889. That was,
So some
1989.
people believe.
You know, so there's been a real change in what's happened to real estate. I mean, in a way, it's like we've gone from Steve Roth uh, to, uh, to Gray. Roth. Roth was the builder, the nuts and bolts guy, and Gray was the strategist.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, no, I think that captures it. And Sam, it actually goes back to conversations about the whole industry we had 25 or so years ago. And when you think about the John Grays of the world, they benefited from that whole environment of learning in school, learning when they got out of school to
Yeah,
think in a totally different way that people just
yeah.
take for granted.
But they were differently educated,
Yeah.
and we developed a much more sophisticated world, than we had. Just, think about, when I first started, it was FHA, and there were insurance companies, and the entire definition of raising capital for real estate was that arena, and uh, compared to where we are today, and tranches and public equities
Much more.
there's just
Totally
incredible
different world.
change and sophistication in our business.